Hey everybody, and welcome to the Hivemind StarCraft 2 tournament. This is week number 2 of the Masters and Diamond League tournament. Again, my name is Evolution Gaming's Woodhouse, and I am bringing you the first of 2 matches today. As you know, we have 5 players, so one player gets a week off every week. So this match actually is between 2 players who I believe one is Diamond, one is Masters. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me later when they watch the video. But without any further ado, let's actually just go right into it. So we do see spawning over here on the right-hand side of Belshire Beach Winter, we have our pink Terran player, Tubis. And spawning over here on the left side of Belshire Beach, we have our blue Protoss player, Amorf. Good luck coming out from Amorf, and both of these players at this point, there's really Hey everybody, and welcome back to the StarCraft 2 tournament for the Montana State University Hivemind. My name is Evolution Gaming Woodhouse, and I am bringing you, I guess you would call it a best of one between Tubis and Amorf on the map Belshire Beach. Now this is from the Masters and Diamond pool, so we'll have to see how the whole thing plays out. You're going to have to forgive me if I'm a little bit slow in catching things that happen. I'm not used to things moving as quickly as they do sometimes, so we're gonna have to see how that plays out. But without any further ado, let's actually move right into the game. We do see spawning over here on the right hand side of Belshire Beach Winter, we have our pink Terran player. Wow, I just about called him a Protoss player, but he's a pink Terran player by the name of Tubis. And spawning cross map from him on the left side of Belshire Beach, we have Amorf, our blue Protoss player. Like I said, this is week number 2 of the Masters and Diamond. There are 2 more weeks left, as all of these players will have played each other once at that point. And then the top 4 out of 5 will be selected to come and play at the Hivemind LAN on April 14th. So definitely keep that in mind. Make sure you're keeping up with all of the updates and such for the Hivemind tournament. That can all be found on Facebook.com, and then search MSU Hivemind. I'm also trying to keep up with it on the Evolution Gaming page if you check that out as well on Facebook. Right now we do just see both players continuing just to play fairly standardly, just continuing to build up workers and supply. Tubis going to make sure that there is no funkiness going on. Oh, but he is placing the barracks. We do see this is a little more unusual from, say, the BSGP this week, where most of the players came down here to wall this off. This is actually becoming a fairly standard thing. I've seen a few players in the GSL do this, actually, to just float it down there, or float it cross map to start Marines, just to trick the opponent a little bit. We do see the gas refinery going down as well, and the assimilator also going down for Amorf. The gateway is about halfway done now, so the gateway and the barracks are about at the same time at this point. We do see actually potentially this, well, no, looks like he's right on track to get the 15 orbital. I was about to say he's a little bit late, but it seems about standard. We do see the gateway for Amorf getting done now, and the cybernetics core going down right on cue. Tubis is going to go ahead and start pumping out dem mariners. Looking back up here at Amorf space, that cyber core is about a quarter of the way done. The scout from the SCV has stopped in his path, but what are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? Maybe a hidden expo by Amorf, our Protoss player? We're going to have to see. Maybe going for a 1-gate expand with a hidden expansion. Be kind of an interesting play all the way around. Oh, no, we do see that coming back. Being chased by the SCV. The Zealot now coming out to try and deal with that. Zealot going to make very short work of that SCV. 2 Marines out now. And a factory going down. We also see a tech lab getting thrown down on the barracks for Tubis. Did pull guys off of gas. So it looks like he was going for something to get just enough gas to get this down, as well as the tech lab But he does that. He's probably going to need to stick people back into that so that he can continue to get the upgrades and everything like that, continuing just to pump Marines out of those barracks. We do see Amorf going to go for a quick expansion. Looking like he's actually content just to do a 1-gate FE, which is a pretty common build, actually. The only precaution that I would, or the only thing that I would caution on this map, though, is like we've said before, this very, very open front. It's hard to get a good coverage with the force fields. We do see a reactor going down on that factory and a second command center coming out for Tubis. The expansion for Amorf did go down, so it is a 1-gate fast expand. Very, very good stuff. It's kind of a risky opening if you don't get a good scout on your opponent. If you see that your opponent isn't going to pressure you all that much, we do see the stalker here going to just kind of poke and see what's going on. But if you don't feel a whole lot of pressure coming out of your opponent, it's a pretty easy way to get very, very ahead of your Terran opponent. And we do see pulled SCVs to come fend this off. I don't think that was entirely necessary. I think he could have handled it with the Marines there with proper micro. Tubis does, in fact, see his opponent going for the early expansion, though. 2 Hellions getting pulled out as well, so it is going to be actually a Hellion expand coming out of our pink Terran player. That expansion command center is just now done. We do see 2 more gateways getting thrown down in the main of Amorf, who is also done with warp gate research. The command center for Tubis is floating over to the natural now. And we do just see very good things coming out of both of these players. Amorf being very, very active with that stalker, making sure that he knows exactly what is going on at all times, taking control of the Zelnaga towers, etc. But Tubis missing completely the proxy pylon. And that Zealot getting roasted. 2 more Hellions coming out now to join the armada of flame-wielding vehicles. The stalker correctly coming back. We do see the double pylon here to try and choke this down just a little bit. And we have a 3-gate robo coming out after the 1-gate FE opening from Amorf. We actually do see a floating barracks. So it is looking like he is going to go for just a very, very solid mech play. As I've said before, though, this can at times... Ooh, roasting a few drones. Let's check the workers loss tab. 2 to 1, not too bad at this point. So he really didn't do as much damage as I think he would hope to, but that was kind of squashed by the fact that these were all sitting here. A scan does go down, revealing that there are 3 gateways and a robo, and there's not that many units sitting up front. That is Tubis' cue to move forward with these Hellions again to try and poke. Getting 1 good shot off on the assimilator. Roasting a sentry, though. Roasting 2 sentries. That's a huge loss for Amorf. You have to see how he deals. He warps in 3 more sentries to try and make up for the units that he just lost. Again, we do see this proxy pylon down here, not scouted by Tubis. No,
I'm in a heap of trouble.
somebody's in a heap of trouble. And we do see another force field coming off, trapping 1 Hellion. And the what hell the fuck? Coming out of Tubis. Not quite sure what was going on that one. Amorf with the prime observer placement, seeing everything that his opponent is doing. I think that might have been the what WTF moment. The tank is actually stuck back there. That is a terrible feeling. And it does get scouted by Amorf that tank is stuck. And Amorf does confirm the fear that the Terran player is going mech. At this point, actually, I would like to see probably a Raven come out. Ravens are almost a key point anymore in Terran mech play, 4-point defense drones, etc. And then you can swap that over to a reactor and just start producing Vikings to get air superiority over your opponent. You see 1 Immortal coming out now, and the robotics support bay coming out for Amorf as well. Another Immortal on the way to help deal with the mech play of Tubis. Supply right now 85 to 72 in favor of Amorf, and we do see, yes, a Raven coming out. He's probably going to switch this over to a reactor after that so that he can continue to pump Vikings. And like I said, that just gives him air superiority over his opponent. And I can't talk today. I apologize. You see 3 more gateways inbound for Amorf. I like this play a lot. I actually do like a 1-gate FE quite a bit on maps where it is relevant. And one thing I would like to see actually out of Tubis is to scout with this. He doesn't actually need these barracks anymore for anything. His opponent has seen him go mech, so literally there's nothing more he can hide. You see Amorf getting a little oversaturated on the probes at this base. That's okay though, because once he expands again, those probes are going to get transferred down to the 3rd base. Supply right now shuffling a little bit back and forth. It's 102 to 103. Both of these players fairly even at this point. The Raven is out, and we do see a Banshee. Not sure how I like this play out of Tubis. We'll have to see how it plays out in the long run. I have seen a lot of players use Banshees in this build before as well, but like I said, I would prefer Vikings just for the air superiority. But noticing that there wasn't any Colossi out at any point for Amorf, he probably figured it was safe. It's not that bad of a deal. And is it scouted? Is it scouted? It is not yet. Tubis still has not scouted the pylon for Amorf. Wow, I'm sorry guys, I'm a little behind today. Making up for some lost time. I've had a hectic couple of weeks, so I apologize for this cast actually coming out really, really late. Here's the expansion command center is about halfway done, and it does look like Tubis is content just to go for mech play with Banshees as opposed to Vikings. Again, not that bad of a transition. You know, there are a lot of players that do use this, and especially since you did get out the... Oh, and we do see Amorf taking a very, very distant 3rd, trying to fool his opponent after killing that off. Oh, and some Hellions getting fried there by the army of Amorf, taking the supply now 129 to 121. And now we do actually see some Vikings coming out. Again, I would like to see that reactor, but I'm not the one playing, so it doesn't really matter. The 3rd base for Amorf is about halfway done now, about actually 3/4. We'll go 3/4. We do see a Templar Archive coming down for Amorf as well in his main. And the Colossi just continuing to get pumped out. The Hellions do finally come down here and kill this proxy pylon. And then the command center does float over. And we do see the train of probes getting transferred over. Like I said, fixing the oversaturation issue at that base. Good stuff by Amorf. The Hellions coming out here with the blue flame and roasting those stalkers. We do see the army of Amorf getting ready to move out. Is he going to catch these Hellions off guard? No, he is not. Those Hellions are going to go home right where they needed to be, but he does see them retreating. This actually gets to be a fairly good push for our Terran player. Now, given that, you know, mech is very, very slow, it's kind of a razor's edge build that it can be countered if you're not careful. I actually think both of these players are, at this point, just waiting for the right positioning. Tubis content to just continue to mass up. Although I could use some more, maybe another factory with a reactor to continue to pump Hellions. I'm not sure. At this point, if he can force his opponent to trade mills, and that gets spotted. The Warp Prism from Amorf getting spotted by Tubis. And we do see the Hellions coming up here to try and do the damage. They do pick off one probe, looking like they wanted to try and pick off another. I don't think they're going to get it before it goes down. No, they do not. So Amorf at this point just content to macro up and stay on 3 bases. Almost, I would say he's probably almost getting ready to take 4. We do see the army of Tubis getting ready to move out right now and deciding to pull back after scouting the Zelnaga Tower. The army of Amorf is also just kind of getting a position. You do see the attack paths that this map has. It actually makes it for a very, very interesting time when you get 2 players who play very, very slow, deliberate position style games. And we do see, oh, and here comes the big push from Tubis, sieging up, and the GG. He's on 1-1-2-0-0. Okay, a little bit of a I think a premature GG there by Tubis, but that is enough to give Amorf the 1-0 victory over Tubis. Game number 2 was conceded. So with that, guys, that is actually match number 1 of the Masters Diamond Tournament for this week. I will be back with match number 2 of week 2 with you here shortly. Stay with me. Thanks, guys.